What is up, guys? Welcome to today's video, and today we're going to be doing a timing belt job on the IS300 because I'm trying to do all the major service, and that way it's reliable for the next drift season and the next few years while I own the car. So let's get into it. All right, so this is everything I bought. I bought a valve cover gasket, water pump, Gates racing timing belt, accessory belt, new tensioner, spark plugs, exhaust gaskets, seals, rear main or front seal, and new bearing. So all that is going to be fresh for that. First, you got to drain your radiator. And there's a plug right here. Just twist it. Hopefully it doesn't spill on me. Oh, shit. Oh, someone didn't use red coolant on this car. Oh shit, I'm gonna make a fat ass mess. Alright, so the drain is right there. On the car, it's like a white knob, and you twist it to the left. And it shot out like crazy, went that way. And so, yeah, just move it that way and slowly move it back until it's fully drained. Alright, while that is draining, I'm gonna take out these bolts for the radiator. 10 here, 10 there. Take out the harness right here. These two harnesses, the hose, and the bottom hose right there. All right, there was a third clip that was stuck on the bottom of the radiator. I got it out. Might have broken the clip, but at least it's out now. Now, time to take off accessory belt. So I'll show you what you need. All right, so now you need a 14 right here, and make sure you're tightening. So as soon as you pull it up, it's gonna come back and you can pull the belt off. So let me try to position my camera. All right. Here you go. All right, now you gotta take off the tensioner, and they're all 12mm bolts. One right here. One right here. There we go. Now don't lose these bolts, just put them aside somewhere. Get them all organized. Got all these 4 bolts out. Now you can remove the timing cover. And you can put this aside as well. Here you can see the timing belt. Looks pretty old. I'm starting to see a leak. Oh, wow, caught it right on time. I see a leak coming. Let's see if you can see it in there. But other than that, it's not bad. It still looks new. And so now you're gonna want to put the car at top dead center. All right, so I got a 21 on the crank, and now I'm gonna time it. So make sure the dash lines up with the mark on the cover in the back, both of them. The dot is 15 degrees advanced, so make sure you get the dash. Looks like someone marked the dot in white. All right, I got the mark at top dead center, so you can see that dash lines up in the back. That dash lines up with that dot, and also it'll mark at 0 right there, and that's top dead center. All right, so I have a 22, and I have a breaker bar wedged to the corner of the frame rail, and everything is lined up perfectly, and all I gotta do is bump the car, and that should break the bolt loose. I'm kind of nervous because I've never done this before. So what you're gonna do, what I recommend doing, you break up, put the car in 5th gear so it doesn't start. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just quick bump. Now let's check if it broke loose. All right, y'all, I am in shock that that shit worked. Oh my God, it's actually loose. It is loose. You can see I'm spinning it by hand, but now it's out of timing. So just turn it back and you should be fine. All right, so I have this bolt loose and now I just rented this Harmonic balancer puller kit, which should be able to pull that pulley off. And so what you do is you take this bolt out, and there's 2 screws that you can screw into. Let's see if you can see it on camera. And those 2 holes. All right, so this is how I have the puller set up. I have 2 screws going into the Harmonic balancer, and then I have this threaded through the middle. And I believe this is a 19, so let me get a 19. Let's see, this is 17. Yep, a 19, and you just tighten it and it should pull it right out. Just make sure your timing is perfect. So I have it at the 0, dash at that line, and dash at that line. All right, now you can just watch it come out. Now, as you can see, it's being pulled away from the motor. And it should just come right loose. Let's keep going. All right, I got the Harmonic balancer out. So as you can see, there is an indent for where it goes onto the crank. Make sure you inspect it and it looks good. And now make sure you just put it aside, trying to lose anything. Organize your bolts. So let's put this right here and put the crank bolt right here. So organize your stuff. Yeah, we're gonna focus on changing the water pump first, and then we'll do the cam seals and the crank seal, and then we'll put everything back together. So you have to take out the cover from the top, which is a bolt right here, bolt right there, bolt in the middle, as well as down here and down here. All right, so I took off the power steering pump pulley just because I couldn't access this bolt right here. There's a couple ways to do it. You can loosen this bolt right here while this is still on and just tilt the power steering pump backwards. But I knew this was gonna come off easily because I replaced it already. So just put that aside and then you can reach that bolt now. All right, so once you take off the top cover, now you need to take off this bottom cover. But first you need to remove the accessory belt tensioner, which is just 3 bolts. So 1, 2, 3, and it'll just come right off. All right, next you're gonna want to take off this water pump pulley, and then you're gonna have room to take off this bottom cover, and then you can take off the timing belt. So yeah, I believe these are 10, so got an impact right here, tiny one. Let's see, yep, just some 10 millimeters. So I'm gonna get all 4 of them out, put it aside, and then go from there. All right, so I got these 4 bolts loose right here, but I can't access this one, so I need to remove these 2 brackets for the power steering. So just take these 2 out right here, and you should be able just to move the bracket away. If I can get this bolt out. A long bolt. There we go. And then if you just loosen this one, what was that? Oh, well, now you can just drop this and you can access this bolt. Got the cover off. All right, next you're gonna wanna remove the tensioner, which is right here. And there's a bolt right there and on the other side. And so they're 12 millimeters and it should just slide right out. And then you can take this bolt out to get the bearing out. All right, after you get that tensioner out, the belt is loose, but there's a kind of a washer here. So make sure you pay attention to the orientation, kind of the outside of the bulge, or it's just like this, where the curve is facing here. So, hope that makes sense. And now you can pull off this belt, but don't lose it, this is important. So, put it here, because it sits behind it. Now you can just slide this belt off pretty easily. Just slowly wiggle it off. There you go. Boom. All right, now you can pull off the bearing or the timing belt tensioner. And it's loose because there's no more of that tensioner on it. And so it's just a 10 Allen key right here. And it should just pop right off. All right, now you need to disconnect all these hoses back here. So take out this hose. There's 2 bolts right here that are 12. And then another 2 10 right here. And then everything should just come right out as one piece, as long as you take out these bolts too right here. All right, to get the water pump out, you need to take out all these bolts, as well as the top bolt for the alternator, and you loosen this so that way it slides out the way, then the whole thing can come out. And then what you need from the old water pump is this piece right here, connects to that, as well as this part. And then everything else will be for the new thing. So these are 10, and then we're gonna clean this up and put some new O-rings on. We're gonna clean this up and put some new O-rings on the new pump. All right, so this is the new water pump. It comes with all these new seals. So these 2 go on here. 2 little ones go around here. This big one goes right here. And then you have the thermostat, which is right here. And then this washer goes right here, and this one goes onto the block. So get everything assembled. All right, got the new water pump on right here. All the new seals for here, here, and here. Now it's time to do the cam seals. So you gotta take off this intake, which is 6 bolts right here. All right, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and there's also 4 on the other side. So if you see, it's 1, 2, 3, and then all the way in the under there. All right, so after you pull the valve cover out, there's these notches on the cam where you can put a wrench on it, and then you can remove this without turning the cam gear. So I'm gonna try it. I got the bolt loose. Now you can pull the cam out and it'll do this one. All right, y'all, so I don't know where I left off. So I got the water pump in, I got the tensioner in, and I got, yeah, the tensioner pulley and tensioner. I left this in because this is the final step after you put the timing belt on. To remove this, the 2 screws, and I put the seal in the back already. And now, in order to take these out, one's a 17 and this is a 10mm bolt. And you need to hold the cam right here with a crescent wrench. And so I broke it loose. I had to use 2 hands and kind of just wanted to finish now. So yeah, I got this bolt loose. There's a cover right here that goes right in the front. And then you can pry it off. Just make sure it's timed correctly before you remove them. Now there's 4 bolts to take off the cover. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you can replace the seals. Looks like this one was leaking. All right, so I got the car back together completely. So once you take off the seals behind here, everything is kind of reverse order. I know I didn't film too much after that part. I was just trying to get everything back together because I had a dinner to get to, and you may have seen that my headers were off. My O2 cracked and was bad, so I had to get it welded. But yeah, all you had to do is do reverse order. So once you change the seals behind here, pick it out with a pick and just slide the new one in. Bolt these to 60 foot-pounds and then torque down the crank bolt to about 240 foot-pounds. And then you fill up the reservoir with coolant and then bleed the coolant. And that's all you need to do for timing belt job. It was my first time and it was super easy. The car runs amazing now, so no issue. Timing is perfectly spot on. No more check engine light. Well, that was because of my O2 sensor, but yeah. I hope you guys like this video. I hope you give it a thumbs up and make sure you hit the subscribe button. This car is all ready for drift season. The maintenance is completely done. There's no leaks. I checked. I let the car sit overnight. And yeah, I hope you guys follow the instructions, and I hope it's not too hard for you guys. This is my first time, so it wasn't too bad. And I hope to see you guys soon.